everyone, it is I, Zarkon, aka 5th Rate Duelist, and I'm here with Ryan Fletcher, who got top 8 with Floowandereeze, which we're going to say Flunder, the deck, and he got first place in Swiss with it, too. He is purportedly the best Flunder player in the world, so make sure you believe that, and like, comment, and subscribe, okay? Alright, so, sir, let's get into the deck profile.
Yeah, for sure. So, as you already mentioned, I had a great tournament run, sadly losing in top 8, went undefeated in Swiss, was not going to let the curse of undefeated stop me, got top 32, top 16, and then, yeah, like I said, I already lost in top 8. But without further ado, there's really not much different about this list. There's maybe some minor changes, and then also some sentiment moving forward, but we can go ahead and get into that as we go.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, so the 6th standard. Never play any more, never play any less. I mean, if you could play more, but that might be cheating.
Yeah, play 10 Robinas and you'll never brick.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Just play 10 Robina, you're fine. 1 toucan, and then 2 street. I'll go ahead and get more of the interesting things out of the way first. 2 street and 2 Ryza. So, as you're playing through a tournament, people get more and more comfortable with just activating the Kelbecks and the Agitos, making you mill. So if you're out like Toucan, you're just out so far, and then same with the Street, so you're essentially only relying on 2 birds. If you're out of Ryzas, then you're out a lot, because the Ryza is like your main way that you're going to be like messing with their board, and then like essentially putting back the statue. Like if it is milled or anything like that. So just losing these cards is very, very difficult. I will admit there are times when I'm not playing against your element, I will side out the 2nd street. Or if I want to go down to 1 Ryza and just play the 3 tributes, which was, I'm sure at this point you can guess, is just the 2 Impton. But I was extremely happy with 2 Ryza the entire weekend. And same with 2 street. It's a small consistency boost now that we're playing 9 birds instead of just 8. So it's a small boost in terms of like, you know, marginal consistency rate, but it definitely did make a difference when sometimes I would only open up like this and map. So it definitely was helpful. 2 Ryzas, I could do some like sus plays sometimes where like I would go like Ryza effect, target some cards, and they go like Imperm. And then I'm just like, okay, admin banish Ryza. Like this no longer hurts now. Like I have a 2nd Ryza left in deck. And so like I can do sus plays like that and just lose a Ryza. And then also just leave the Ryza on field and bounce another card on field back to hand. And then just summon the 2nd Ryza. But yeah, that's all the wing beasts. And then, oh, excuse me, statue, obviously. Nothing to say about that. I don't think playing 2 is correct. I'd rather just have a 1. And, you know, there's a lot of times I just won't even summon this on my first turn, especially if they go like Abysssteel or like Havness. You know, I'll just hold it in hand. And then on their turn, I'll establish it after like booking them with Dreaming Town. Yeah. And then 3 Shifter. Nothing to say about this card. You know, maximize on the best hand trap in the format. So, yeah, D-Shifter's amazing. There were a lot of times, though, against Tier where I activated this and just lost because, like, I do have outs of Baguska in the forms of Dark Ruler and Mystic Mine, but I just unfortunately wouldn't see him. And, yeah, so we'll finish talking about Shifter. Talk about Mystic Mine now. This card is really funny for me the whole entire tournament. This literally could have just been any other card in my deck because I just never saw it. There's only 1 game I saw it where it actually did something, and that was, I think, round 5. I was playing against Tier, and he goes Orange Light and Havness on my first turn. So he gets 8 because he sent a Kelbeck off the Orange Light. And I Ryza back, or excuse me, I Imp in Search Advent, and then Ryza back his Kate Kalos and the Ryza back to hand. And then I activate Mystic Mine and pass while he has Advent, or just Havness on field. And then it comes to my turn. In draw phase, I just activate Advent, banish a bird, add map, get rid of mine, then just start playing. So it was really good in that one situation. But like I said, ironic, it's so fitting that this card could literally just been any other card in my deck because we're about to lose it. So, and then Dark Ruler, you just have to have something to complement the Shifter, because you will just get Baguska. That's a non, like, it's gonna happen. Like, so you just have to be ready for it. This came in clutch too against my top 16 against Exo Sister. I opened insane in that match, but this card came in really good. Then other non-negotiable cards like Map Advent. This is literally the best card in the deck. If you're not always searching this card, you should be doing something else. Like if you already have Dreaming, or if you don't have Dreaming Town, then that's, you know, arguably better, but the best card by far. And then the other 2 Flunder cards. I don't believe playing like 2 Dreaming Town's correct anymore. Like I tried it back in like Nationals and just not that good. And this card was good in multiples when you're playing against like Despia, because they'd always have Brain and Red set. You just activate it and it forces them to activate the Brain and Red. So that's obviously a good amount of pressure that you now just don't have to worry about the Guardian Chimera slapping down. But these cards at 1 are absolutely perfect. This is probably like next to Advent. This is probably the best card in the deck because this just lets you like people tunnel vision all the time on Barrier Statue. They're like, I have to out the Barrier Statue. I have to out the Barrier Statue. It's true, they do have to out it, but this is the real card they really need to be worrying about after it because like they out the Barrier Statue. Now I just get to bulk all their monsters, and a face down Kit Kalos can't be sending itself to grave, so that's hot. So yeah, that's it for those. Then we can get into consistency cards. I was on Extravagance for a little bit. I just didn't like it anymore. Just rather have better power cards. So 3 pot, 3 duality, 3 prosperity. Nothing to say about that. And then 2 lightning storm and 1 terraforming. Obviously with 6 field spells on the deck, just terraforming just fits naturally. Nothing to say about that. 2 lightning storms is kind of interesting. You know, a lot of this deck is just trying to maximize ratios, just produce the best consistent result because this deck will brick. But 2 lightning storm is kind of needed in the sense that like going first, maybe if I'm playing against Rogue or maybe against like Sprite, I need something to clear out the back row so I don't have to worry about like Smashers or if they set their imperm or whatnot. And then also against like Solic or Crime, like this will bait out the Crime, and then we can potentially go for like a Mystic Mind play, or like if they establish Trick or Spell you because they know you're on Plunder, we now have just Dark Ruler for that. So like, yeah, this is kind of weirded too, but I do side into the third if I need it, and especially against like back row decks too, because I just didn't know what to expect in Costa Rica, so I was like, let me play just cards that are generically good against a lot of matchups. Well, that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards even. Let's go into side deck, which will help explain the main deck. Or excuse me, the extra deck. So the 4 one-ofs. Defissure, Set Rotation, the 3rd Lightning Storm, and the 1 of Feather Duster. There were a lot of times too where I just have the Feather Duster in the main after like siding in for going first, and I have the Feather Storm. So they just like nuke my back row, and then I search Feather Duster. And now they're still under Feather Storm, now I can just like, you know, end them next turn. 3rd of Lightning Storm, not much to say about this. This card was horrible. Since I didn't have Necro Valley, I essentially had to keep a Mystic Mind in the main. For situations I just didn't want to have Mystic Mind in the main, so I was just not happy with this card at all. And like Defissure's Defissure, it came in clutch in certain scenarios. Like I used it against Poly round 9, game 3. So it was really good there, but that's the only time I saw it the rest of the weekend. And now we have Zombie World Hate. Plus Feather Duster Zombie World Hate as well. Oh, let me section these cards out. Whoops. So it's 100% going to be a situation. They will be siding Zombie World against you. You need to have something to stop Zombie World. Cosmic Cyclone is the obvious answer, just because as you're comboing with your birds, you have this as an option. Ultimate Slayer. This card's just really good in the sense that I can send Entis, pop the Zombie World if they already have established. Or if they still have Bagooska up, you can send the rank 9 and you know, bounce a Bagooska and then turn off Zombie World for a turn, and at least try and like rise it back or something, and just be able to play. So yeah, Ultimate Slayer was okay this weekend. I did have one time where I did shuffle back, or send an Omega, shuffle back a Baron, so that was pretty cool.
Do you feel like Ultimate Slayer conflicts with D-Shifter?
It does and it doesn't. Obviously I want to be resolving D-Shifter, but the plan is like, since they're non-searchable 3-ofs, I'm not guaranteeing myself a way to get to them. So like if I do have D-Shifter and an Ultimate Slayer together, it sucks, because now I just have a dead card in my hand. But it's like a necessary risk in the sense that I just need more cards to help out tier boards and out Zombie World. So like I'm still happy with this card in the side deck. I wasn't playing it when Sprite was his best deck just because I didn't feel like it did enough against Sprite, but against Tier Element, it does apply a lot of pressure just because it does send its cost. So even if they negate it with Crime, I'm still getting at least an Entis pop. It definitely does conflict, and I can see arguments against just not playing it, but I'm not sure what this card would be instead. So for the moment, I'm still pretty happy, and we'll still keep playing it. And then the last 5 cards of the side deck, Feather Storm, Trap Trick. There's nothing really to say about them. They're just, it's in my opinion, this is a great equalizer. There's a lot of dumb things Tier can do, and this card, even though it is kind of brainless in the sense of like how you're using it, it just evens the playing field so Flunder can compete with these like, you know, disgusting decks. That's the side deck. And then extra. Doesn't really matter. We have 6 cards for what's it called? Ultimate Slayer. As most people
Can you name them, please?
Yeah, of course. We have Omega for Baron. We have Bagooska. Excuse me. We have Mirologic Aggregator, thank you. For Bagooska and other like Xyz monsters. We have Guru and Entis. If in any situation I do want to just try and draw a card. I never sent this card, so it could just literally be something else if you don't want to buy it. And then double Entis just makes sense. Shurag, I didn't want to side the Evil Twin card I just didn't want that in my side deck. So, and there was a time actually in testing against Pat Hoban when I literally just needed Shrag in the extra deck, so I could go Ultimate Slayer, bounce, and then send this to grave, then search another bird name because that bird's already banished. So that was like really clutch there. Yeah, those are the 6 Ultimate Slayer targets. They're at the top of the extra decks because I always just banish them for prosperity. And then the good cards, we have Sombre Nightingale, Diner Magician, and Zeus. There's really not much to say. If you're not playing this in your Flunder deck, may God have mercy on your soul. Like, Goosesock, Max, and Livey, this is your out to like just big monsters that are really tough to deal with, because these are, 2 imp pins makes this.
Can you explain the non-gun cannon card for people who don't know it? That one like attacks 3 times or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. You can detach 1, increases attack points by 2,000, then it gains an attack on monsters for each XZ material it has. So it becomes 6,000, which like most of the time you're going to detach 1 at least for a 2,000 burn, and then pump this to 6,000, and it'll have like 1 material, so you can attack twice. It doesn't really come up. I never had to make, or actually never had to go in my extra deck once this weekend. So yeah, this isn't that good. Like, well, I mean, it's not going to be fun, obviously, but yeah. Then 4 other like just assistance cards, like Relinquished Anima and Phoenix are kind of like no-brainers. Same with Underworld Goddess. We just need more outs to like untargetable like boss monsters. RP Conductor. This is in here just in case like someone does Mystic Mind me, because like if I bear Statue Nimpin, I can just link them both away for this, set admin pass, and then at their end phase, I just go admin away this card, and then just just turn off their Mystic Mind. So it's just a permanent spot in here just in case that needs to happen. Yeah, that's the extra deck.
Okay. Do you want to like go over what were the toughest matchups and the easiest matchups this weekend?
Yeah, there was a lot of times I was just going like 2-0, which was really cool because it just made life a lot easier. I didn't have to sweat and hoping to draw playable game 3. But yeah, it's tough to say. I think my deck performed very well. Like I said, I was extremely happy with the second Ryza. I think that should just become the new standard. I know previously I set the precedence for playing 4 tributes, because in April I did have the 2 imp in Avian Ryza, and then now it's just Avian's really good in simplified game state, but it's really hard to get to simplified game state against tier limit. So it's just not good, and at most, your Omni Negate's not really getting you same value you used to. So just the double rise in the sense that like people are going to be milling 10 against you, it's just 100% worth it. Yeah, anything else?
How's the tier matchup?
Tier matchups, it's interesting. If you really know what you're doing with Flunder, it's a lot better than you think it is. They're like I didn't feel like really weak or underpowered in the tier matchup, just because I felt like I had a lot of gas sometimes. So I feel like it's still like one of the best choices if you just do not want to play tier. Like, I definitely think this is the best choice out there.
Okay, sweet. Do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I have so many shout outs. Shout out to my boy Alejandro Cruz. He came with me to Costa Rica. I thank him so much. It's been an amazing time. Everyone in the Tampa community, everyone who I came here with. I also a double shout out to Alejandro Cruz. He's essentially the person who got me on the Floowandereeze. He's probably the biggest inspiration for it. So.
So you're the Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone who we're hanging out with here. Raph, I've been hanging out with Rafa Nevin a lot. Absolutely love him. I joke with him all the time, give him a little too much shit. And then Team Oblivion. Definitely obvious shout out there. Look for the deck profile that's going to go on their channel too, because I have 2 Flunder decks. 1 low rarity, 1 high rarity, so I'll do the high rarity on that one, because I just don't like bringing it with me that much. But, check out my Twitter, check out my Twitch.
What is it?
I don't know off the top of my head the exact handles. I think Twitch or Twitter's like @RyanF0511.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll link it in the description, okay?
I know you're doing.
I got you, okay?
Let's go!
And shout out the woman behind the camera. Zara, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
That's me, guys. That's me.
Yeah. But other than that, thank you for listening to me ramble about Flunder. I'm sure nothing much has changed, and you're probably going to skip through this anyways. But if you do last to the end, give a like and give a comment.
Okay, thank you. And he's going to be on my stream. Catch me Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 5th Rate Duelist. Okay, bye-bye.